Hello, and welcome to another episode of anime review for Mob Psycho, Bleach, and Chainsaw Man. This is for week 9, and yes, I know episode 10 of Mob Psycho and Bleach are already out. And yeah, I'm kind of recording this like a week late, but at least Chainsaw Man isn't up to episode 10 yet, so you know that's a positive, I think. I mean, I'll just record the next episode, tomorrow when Chainsaw Man comes out, and then it'll be like 2 back-to-back episodes. That'd be cool, right? I think I've done this before already, where like I missed a week and then just recorded them back-to-back. But yeah, that's enough about that. On to Mob Psycho. Boom. Oh. Boom. Mob Psycho. Episode 9. Where last episode ended with the whole weird alien thing that kind of wrapped up, that kind of telepathy, plot line, storyline, plot thread, whatever you want to call it. Where Tomei finally gets to converse with aliens, not really with telepathy, but sort of with telepathy, and Inugawa gets his isekai thingy, and it's a cool arc, cool little two episode arc, and now we're on to the new arc, which by the title of it, Mob, is probably the last arc of this season, I'm guessing, and of Mob Psycho, where or maybe it'll be like a 2-part arc where it's like first part is Mob and then second part Psycho. That'd be crazy. I doubt it though. But yeah, it's Mob, and this episode is basically about Mob and Tsubomi, and like that kind of plot line that was introduced. Was that episode 1? It might have been episode 2 actually. I can't really remember. Maybe not even episode 2, because episode 2 was Dimple's introduction. I don't know. When did they introduce Tsubomi? I don't remember. But anyways, episode starts with Mob having a dream of holding hands with Tsubomi as the two of them like walk towards the sunset or something like that, and then it turns out to be a dream. But then we've had like that flashback like a few times already, not just in other seasons, but like this season, like I swear I've seen it like twice already, where it's Mob showing off his psychic powers, bending the what are they called? Some playground things, where they do the what is it called when they flip around it? Who cares? It's some sort of pole thingy, and he's using psychic powers. He's lifting dogs in the air, and every other time they've done this flashback, it's Tsubomi like kind of ignoring him, saying she's bored, and then they go, and then like it kind of ends there. But here we get like a follow-up where they start holding hands, and you're like, oh, did that really happen, or is that just a dream? It's probably just a dream, but I wonder if it is a thing where Tsubomi and Mob used to be a lot closer than what we kind of thought it would be, where it was like, oh, they were just, they kind of just knew each other, and Mob kind of had a crush, but it wasn't anything more than that. Oh yeah, and Mob's a second year, by the way. I think I've said in like the other episodes where he was a third year. I thought he was a third year because Tomei's the third year, and I thought like, they were just doing things together. Like they weren't. How do I say this? I thought they were in the same year group, but hey, Mob's a second year. Tomei's the third year that's graduating, and Inugawa is in the same year as him, as Mob. And there's another guy in the telepathy club who's the first year, because he called Mob a senpai. Forget who that was, but the more you know. But yeah, Tsubomi is moving out of the school to some other place, and all the guys in the, not in just the class, the whole school are like gonna confess to her, and you're like, ooh, Mob, what is Mob gonna do? Is he also gonna ask her out? And then the kind of episode is just about Mob going to other people to ask for advice and stuff. He goes to the bodybuilding club, and they're like, "Oh, we don't really have experience, but you work really hard, so show them your muscles that you grew, and you'll do fine." Something like that. Even what did Tome gave advice as well, and I forget what it was, but this is kind of what happens if you watch an episode a week ago, and actually it's been over a week, I think, because last week episode 10 Mob Psycho just came out, so like fuck, it'd be like that, eh? Good thing I have notes, not that my notes help that much. And then after like asking for people's advice, he's like, sort of second guessing if he's gonna ask her out or not, or at least like ask her out on that day. You have Tsubomi like rejecting like a huge line of guys as well, and it seems like she's been doing that like all day. But I'm guessing like Mob decides not to, because he goes back to Reagan, and Reagan actually gives him like some pretty genuine advice where he's like, you could in theory like just fake your way into like getting with her by like acting like more of a attractive kind of person, trying to play to her taste and like that kind of thing. But then what does it really mean? You should just be yourself, honestly. Like talk to her like you would if you were yourself, which is pretty good advice. And even like asks why Mob likes Tsubomi, and Mob's answer was basically like, I don't know, I just like her since I don't know when, which is really cute, because it's like, it really seems like it's like a genuine crush. Even who was it? Is it Misato? I think the photographer chick was like, "Oh, do you just like her because she's hot?" But it seemed like Mob really thought about it, and like it does seem like it's more than that, which is really cute to see for Mob. It's like damn, man's. I wish him luck, bro. He's probably gonna get rejected, but it's kind of cool. Yeah. After Reagan gives that advice, even Shirazawa's like, "Oh shit, man! Like, Reagan's actually really popular with older women, the older women clients that he has." And I'm like, damn, Reagan getting it on with some MILFs. Respect. I do wonder if like Reagan would have. Nah, I guess like the anime is not really supposed to be a romance anime, so I doubt it's supposed to be like characters end up finding their love and stuff. That's a big part of I think Mob Psycho, which other animes don't do, where it's like, they show that there's more to life than just like, finding your partner and shit. That so many romance animes and even like non-romance animes kind of, what's the word? Fantasize isn't the word, is it? Idealize? They kind of idealize it, like they put it on a pedestal where they're like, oh, romance, that's the peak of humanity, finding your perfect partner. It's like, it's not like it's like that's necessarily a bad thing. Romanticize, that's the probably better word, right? Like they romanticize romance, which is like I was saying, right? It's not a bad thing. It is just like Mob Psycho is not about that. It's definitely more about like your personal growth and stuff as your own character and shit. You become your own main character, and that's the heart of the show. And like, even though they have this romance plot line with Mob and Tsubomi, at no point does it ever feel like the romance is overshadowing the sorry about that. I am drinking tea, and for some reason tea makes me burp. I'm not really sure how that makes sense. But yeah, like it really feels like Mob's development is what's taking the lead of this story. None of the romance aspect. And like, I think like the part of this episode that shows that the most is when he's he calls up Tsubomi's household and is like, is asking her mom like, yo, yeah, it's me, mob. Can I talk to Tsubomi? And like, you really get to see how nervous he is, and I love like that whole scene was so well done in my opinion, because like, it's just like this shot of Mob, and then you see Mob's mom come in, and then he's still on the phone, and then he walks out into the hallway, he's like scratching the wall, he's like fiddling with himself. You really get to feel how nervous he is, and even though he's nervous, he's taking that stride in making his move, and like, yes, oh my god, it's so cool to see. And I even like after that, in the next day, you get to see him buy flowers and stuff, and it was like at this moment, at least for me, you really get to see like that stark difference he has from the beginning of the series to now, where he is like the same person. He's the same character of like, a young boy who's like kind of awkward, doesn't really like have like a super strong passion that like, so many other shonen protagonists have, like a dream or anything like that. But he's a genuinely good-natured person. But in the like very first episodes, even like the whole first season, when you think about it, he's not emotionless, but he's what's the word, like he's like holding back his emotions. He's not very expressive. But then in this episode, I feel like you really get to see how well he's expressing himself, like the joys of buying flowers, him being nervous, all that kind of stuff. It's like he's expressing himself better. And how that ties in with like, the whole 100% thing is where it's something like, they explained it in the first season, I already forgot, but it's something like he holds back all his emotions, and then when he's at 100%, he snaps. And then that's very what's the word, I think that is relatable to a lot of people who hold in their emotions, right? Like even me, was like, if you're not I don't want to say, is it daily? If you don't like, just let out your emotions every now and then, like regularly, you do like hold it in until you break, and like, you kind of collapse as a person, or like, snap at someone. But if you find your like little pockets of ways of expressing yourself, whether it be like, talking or art or any other way where you're able to express yourself, it's a healthier way of living, really, when you think about it. And like, I think that's what I love about Mob Psycho, of like how they're showing this. But yeah, end of the episode, kind of sad. You can kind of see it coming with like, you see this little boy playing on his little Switch DS Game Boy kind of thing, and you're like, yo, this little boy is a little like too well like designed and detailed. And sure enough, he is about to go into a traffic accident, and Mob saves him by, you don't really get to see it, but like you kind of just assume that he pushed the kid away and took the hit of the car, and then you see the flowers are on the street and he is bleeding, and then the episode cuts there, and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck's happening? Because I guess I didn't really like explain it too well, but he called up Tsubomi and then set up a date the next day, or maybe like I'm assuming it was the next day, and like, they like agreed to meet at a park, and he is on his way to meeting Tsubomi and gets into this accident. And interested to see what happens next episode, even though the episode's already out and I could just watch it right now. But it is what it is. I kind of want to record these before I watch the next episode, just so I don't like talk about episode 9 without already knowing what happens in episode 10. I don't know why. I feel like after not doing this for like I kind of skipped a week. I feel like a lot more nervous when recording. Is man, I should have fucking recorded it last week. I feel like I lost my groove. You know what I mean? But anyways, rating, I would give this episode like an 8 or 9 out of 10. Doesn't really do like much above, but it is, like I've been saying, very Mob Psycho, stays true to its storytelling, and very good. Very good. I love Mob Psycho. Kinda. God damn it. Oh, look at that. Bleach. Yeah, this Bleach episode was crazy, right? Bleach episode 10, as far as I've seen like on Twitter and stuff, is probably even better. But you know, this isn't about episode 10. This is about episode 9. Episode 9 starts off with Shunsui becoming head captain, as at least what they've been showing in this like arc. He is like the first student of Yamamoto, or maybe like the best student of him, even though Jushiro Ukitake is the whitehead, also like they're both dual wielding, but I'm pretty sure they're both students of Yamamoto. Maybe it's because Shunsui's older. I don't really know. Maybe they'll explain it. But yeah, it could also be Shunsui is supposed to be the strongest captain after Yamamoto, maybe. So like I said, I forgot a lot that happens in the manga, but you know, I do know he became head captain, but I forget how well, like, if they had like a reason for it, or if it's just supposed to be like, oh yeah, like it was in his will that you're the next head captain, or maybe Central 47. I think that's what they're called. Maybe they were like, yo, Shinsui, your head captain, or something like that. I really forgot, but yeah, Shinsui becomes head captain, which is really I see, that's the thing. I forgot how I initially felt about this. Like currently right now it's like, oh yeah, he becomes head captain. But I wonder how many non-manga readers felt about this. Like if they thought another captain should have been head captain instead. Because like when you really think about it, Shinsui is probably the most level-headed, maybe besides Jushiro. Level-headed might not be the right word. Like most mature minded, because all the fucking captains are kind of crazy when you think about it, including Unohana. But you know, that's kind of like later. We'll talk about that, right? But yeah, like, you know, Mayuri is a fucking science freak. Kenpachi's Kenpachi. Hitsugaya is young, so they probably want to accept him. Kamamura, a dog bear person, I think is also like a newer captain. And he's also like an animal. Is that racism? I don't know. They probably won't accept any of the Visored because is that also racism? If they hate hot like part hollows? I don't know. Honestly. Like Soul, I know Soul, I can't even speak right now. Soul Society is kind of fucked, but yeah, I guess Shinsui is the best choice out of all the captains. Yeah. After that happens, we get a cut into Ichigo at the Kirinji Hot Springs, where he and Renji take a hit, and Kirinji's like, oh, I guess you guys have healed up enough to go to the next place. And yeah, they get sent to Kiryo food place, and like, you know, they kind of eat more food and shit, and Kiryo's a baddie. But yeah, Kirinji is like, oh shit, you know, these guys are actually pretty tough, you know. What do you call it? Sitting, standing, taking, being in the hot springs, because the two helper guys needed protective gear to like to to protect themselves from like the water healing properties, because I'm guessing it was something where it's like the water heals you so much that it fucks up your muscles. I don't really get what that means. It's something like that. Maybe someone else can explain it better. But yeah, like apparently it's supposed to be some kind of feat for them to withstand the hot spring. And even Korinji is like, oh, when I punched Ichigo, he reacted instinctively and broke my wrist or broke my hand or something like that. And he even said like, yeah, that was kind of impressive considering I have like the greatest ho-ho skills out of like all the Soul Reapers. And you know, that being the agility, movement, speed, technique thing the Soul Reapers have, because like they have the four, right? They have Ho-Ho, which is like the flash step thing that Yoruichi and Byakuya and Ichigo fucking love using. It's fucking sick as fuck. They have Kido, which is the spell casting. They have Zanjutsu, which is what they're teaching Kenpachi right now at the end of the episode. And Hakuda, which is the unarmed fighting, which is what Yoruichi and Soifon uses. You know, the stealth force people. But yeah, so bro, like this is kind of what happens when you don't watch, or you start the review like a week after watching this episode. It feels bad. But anyways, Shunsui is talking to the Central 47 people. I really hope they're Central 47 and I'm not like fucking this up. But basically, he's like, oh, I want these two as my lieutenants because I need 2 lieutenants. Because this guy, he knows Squad 1 and can manage that. And Nano, I need Nano, Nano. I feel really stupid when I'm like mispronouncing their names, because like I grew up with this anime and I'm like, I feel like I should be able to say their names. I'm also very nervous right now, if you couldn't tell. Like it's been a week since I recorded and like I feel like I lost my groove. But yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I want 2 lieutenants and I want to teach Kenpachi Zanjutsu. And you know, they're like, oh fuck, Kenpachi, he's gonna become too strong, we can't control him. And you know, Shinsui's like, bro, we got fucking annihilated. If the Quincy's attack again, we're fucked. And they're like, ah, shit, you're right. Alright, let's go teach Kenpachi. And they're like, alright, let's bring out the biggest fucking reveal in Bleach manga anime history, which is Unohana was the first Kenpachi. God damn, that's the fight. That's so fire, bro. I love Unohana. She's a baddie. What? Who said that? But yeah, some other stuff happens, and let's go straight into Kenpachi versus Kenpachi because I want to finish off this anime review so I could watch episode 10, which came out already, which I'm guessing is the actual battle between Unohana and Kenpachi, because this is like the kind of the beginning, the appetizer, you know, the you know, it's they're hyping it up. It's not the actual battle, though. Honestly, if this was the battle, like if this is all we got in the Kenpachi fight, I would not complain, not a single bit, because oh my god, like bro, you see Unohana's face right there? Do you see how fucking scary that is? Like, I have never been so aroused in my entire life. Unohana is so hot. I love like, I don't know, is it something wrong with me when I love women who could kill me? Not in real life, of course. I would probably like be so afraid of like a serial killer, but like in terms of anime, I'm like, god damn, Unohana is so hot. Oh my god. You know, just like, and look, when that frame hit the screen, right, and like, you know, there's just no sound, you know, no what do you call it? It's not just sound effects. You know, there's no ambient sound. There's no soundtrack. It's just, you just see the frame and you're like, oh my god, I love Unohana so much. And then the way like they kind of reveal their scars, or she reveals her scar, which has been covered by the braids, her braids, like the reason why she braids her hair that way is because it covers her scar, and you're like, oh my god, like that's crazy. And then you have Isane and Yachiru. I think Yachiru. It's, why is it so weird when I say it? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Yachiru. God. Oh well, yeah, and like they're crying, and I'm like, bro, Isane is also a baddie. Bleach has so many fucking hot women. It's kind of unfair. But yeah, and like, you know, if you didn't catch on by when they revealed Unohana's Kenpachi, they also revealed her other name, first name or whatever, which was Yachiru. And if you remember Kenpachi's and Yachiru's sort of introduction kind of story, Yachiru came to Kenpachi as a child, as like a baby toddler kind of thing, and didn't have a name, and Kenpachi named her Yachiru, which you know, we didn't know was Unohana at the time, but if you look at it now, it's, he named her after his idol. He's like, Kenpachi, the greatest fucking swordsmith, serial killer ever. Crazy. But yeah, and Unohana kills Kenpachi in a really good fight. That fight was so good. Like the 2 minutes of it, the dialogue between them, where she was like, "Oh man, why are you praising your enemy right now in battle?" And yeah, Unohana kills Kenpachi, and then boom, no, he's not dead. Something happened, and like they continue fighting, and I'm not gonna say what happens because I'm pretty sure they will reveal that next episode. But yeah, this is another, like, you know, 80 out of 10 episode. Like, oh my god, this episode was so good. I love Bleach. I'm trying to keep this review short because I don't really know why. I think it's because if I drag this out for too long, like, I feel like I'm gonna you know, lose my mind because I've forgotten so much. Even though my notes are here, like there was like some stuff I didn't say, like how, you know, they went, like the fight between Unohana and Kenpachi's happening at Muken, which is a play on Mugen, which means infinite, and Ken, which means like sword, fist, or whatever. So I think it's supposed to be like the infinite fighting ground. Something. I don't know Japanese, but I'm assuming it's something like that. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's in my notes. But I feel like that's gonna be me dragging it on for too long because I really want to watch the next episode. But yeah, sorry if I miss anything. But yeah, it was a good episode. I love Bleach. I love Unohana and Kenpachi. But anyways, on to Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man episode 9. You know, after the craziness that was episode 8, episode 9 happens. And here, it was also another good episode. I fucking love I love my wife, my new waifu. I'll mention it when it happens later. But anyways, it starts off with after Himeno died last episode. It's Denji versus the sword, katana, demon, devil, kind of. I already forget what they're called. Like, are they demons? No, they're devils. I'm pretty sure they're devils. The sword devil. And it's actually kind of interesting because like the craziness that happened last episode, I feel like even though I was like going crazy over it, I was like speechless and everything, I also felt like I was undermining it because of, like, even though I was saying like how great the animation was, I don't think I talked about how great the animation was, because it was so good, you know. I feel really bad whenever I try to do analytical work, and like I feel like I really need to write stuff down, because all I'm like thinking is like in my head, like, oh my god, yeah, that shit was pretty good, but I can't really put thoughts into words unless I've already written it down, because I'm kind of an airhead. Sorry about that. So anyways, this episode they showed the death again, but from like a different POV, and like, you know, this, like the way they shot this in episode 9, I think gave you like a different perspective, literally, because like, you know, it was from a different angle, but also like last episode was so like artistic the way it was done, and this felt like a lot more raw, like you were in the moment, and I love the way like they did they're showing both, because it didn't feel like a, you know, a recap that they usually do in animes, but in here, like it was really cool. Damn, this review show makes me feel so stupid when I talk about anime. I hate it, but you know, I'll keep doing it. Basically, Maximum the hormone plays and Denji loses. Wow, I should cover that like 3-minute fight pretty fast, eh? But yeah, like the Denji fight, you know, it was cool and all, but like, you know, I don't really like Denji, so fuck that shit. And yeah, like Denji tries to take a hostage and gets fucked up, and they start showing how, like, you know, all the dead people, like you know, the people that were in the restaurant in episode 6, the episode where Hime vomited in Denji's mouth. Those people are dead as fuck, but you know who they didn't show? Kobeni being dead. And you know who they showed at the end of it? Makima being alive. And yeah, Makima, I mean, I said it right. I was like, oh yeah, no way Makima's dead, right? That's crazy. She's way too hyped of a character. But like, you know, I kind of like, I believed, like, I was more sure that Makima was alive than Kobeni was alive. Like my hope of Kobeni being alive was more perpetrated, based, desired. It like, you know, me personally, I wanted Kobeni to be alive, but I had like this inkling that like, oh yeah, she's probably dead, isn't she? Like, god damn it, like she was just introduced to be like the you know, nervous breakdown character that eventually dies, right? Like oh my, and I'm like, fuck man, I hate it when anime do that, right? Like they introduce a character that's supposed to be like the relatable character, and then what happens? They don't get to do anything redeemable, right? Well, like that shows that, you know, you can be better. And you know, I thought that like, these like it was supposed to be like a thing where like, oh yeah, grim reality. If you're weak, and like not just weak, you're weak-minded, you are going to die. You know, and it would be like, I'm like, bro, that's so boring. But you know what? She didn't die, because Kobeni's my fucking girl, bro. Oh my god, I love Kobeni. But before like they reveal that, right? Makima does like some sort of ritual sacrifice thing where she takes like people who are on death. What is it called? Death row, who, like, you know, are imprisoned for life, or maybe they're going to be executed. Does Japan have people on death row? I actually don't know. Well, let's just assume that it's people who have a life sentence then. she uses them as fodder to like start killing people by like she like puts her hands like this and then like bodies start blowing up. Initially I thought it was Power doing that, and I wonder if that was purposely done to be like a fake out, whereas I know that's not Power, that's actually Makima. Because if it is, that's really cool. And second of all, where the fuck is Power? Am I just Aki told Power to do something before Aki got fucked, but I forgot what that was, and I'm too lazy to like check the episode. But basically, yeah, Power like did not show up this episode, and because Kobeni showed up and did like some of the coolest shit I've ever seen in anime, Kobeni is number one waifu now. And yeah, I believe in Kobeni supremacy, because they kind of hinted this, like this is like part of the reason I was like I had like a little hope for Kobeni, was because Himeno said oh yeah, Kobeni has the skills to be like a good devil hunter, but she's like weak-minded or something along those lines. And I was like, oh, so Kobeni like is actually kind of sick with it, but like, you know, she's just like really nervous and shit. And I was like, oh man, like that gave me hope. But I also was like, oh, they're just like hyping her up for no reason. Like, oh, she's like, she has the skills as like a regular devil hunter, but like compared to like Aki and Himeno, she ain't shit. But then, you know, we see here the person that killed Himeno can't do shit to Kobeni, and Kobeni kind of fucked up the Katana Devil as well, even though like the Katana Devil wasn't really in like fighting mode. And maybe after using like the snake in the first thing, the girl can't use like pull out her like the full potential. I don't really know how the power scaling works in this anime. All I know is Kobeni's a badass, and like the way they animated her was fucking amazing. Like she was like jumping over shit, fucking running on a snake. Oh my god, that shit looked so good. I love Kobeni. But then, you know, she like saved Denji and then started crying, and then I was like, oh my god, Kobeni, I just want to give her a hug. And then she was like, oh man, when I talk to Himeno again, I'm gonna like resign. And I'm like, damn, I almost cried, bro. Like I was like, because Himeno's dead. And then she was like, oh, when I meet Himeno again, I'm like, oh, bro, like that's the kind of shit where it's like, I don't know. Like I actually did almost cry, because like, even though like she just did some hype ass shit, it's one of those things where it's like it reminds you that Himeno's dead. And I think like the ED this episode also was fucking amazing. It was kind of like a Himeno tribute, where it's like, you know, it was about Himeno and even like a little bit of Makima, and it was animated by one person, right? Masanobu Hiraoka, who I looked up some stuff, and you know, he also did the Little Witch Academia and Made in Abyss EDs. But like the way that this guy animated ED9 with Aimer on the fucking on the song, like I forgot the song name anyways, but like if I'm gonna be honest, it's not the best Aimer song, but for the ED, like it did its job. It, like, you know, it is by no means bad. It's just like, you know, I guess like it's personal taste. I like Aimer's more not poppy, like more catchy. Not even catchy, like she has better songs basically, because like she had the is it After the Rain? I think that ED. Obviously Brave Shine with Fate. She Torches in Vinland Saga. That shit was fire. What else does she do? There's another one. Oh, one that isn't anime. Kata Amoy. feel so stupid when I can't speak Japanese, but you know, Japanese isn't my native language, so that's my excuse. But yeah, Masanobu Hiroka, if you ever look him up, he does some of the fucking like his animations are like so mesmerizing, and you know, like they're just beautiful to watch. And the way he did this was you know, also mesmerizing. I can't really think of synonyms right now, can I? But but yeah, like I it was all done by him apparently. Like he had like no other help. Like he's an indie animator, and like it kind of seemed like if you compare this work to some of his other stuff, you know, it's shorter. Well, it's not like he's ever done like a super long animation, but it's a more minimalist, but like still his style of like really cool transitions between stuff, and like, you know, like how fluid it is, and oh my god, like yeah, shit looks really good. But yeah, like if ever anyone who's watching this looks him up, he has like videos on his Vimeo. Well, I don't know why they're on Vimeo. Like, why not just upload it to YouTube? Maybe some copyright thing. I don't really know, but like he did a really good job of it being like like a story piece kind of animation, as well as like it visually looking really good. It was very good. I like this ED. It might be my favorite ED. I'm not really sure why I'm whispering right now. I think it's because whenever I talk normally, like my voice is like stuttering, and I think it's because I'm really nervous, and maybe, and like, yeah. But yeah, really good Chainsaw Man episode. I love Kobeni. 8 out of 10 episode. Nah, 9 out of 10. Kobeni herself brought this episode up by like 20 times. Not that the episode would have been bad without her, but she made the episode, really, when you think about it. I love Kobeni. Anyways. Oh shit. I didn't even like switch over to Chainsaw Man. Oh well, it is what it is. But yeah. That's the end of this week's anime review. Still ended up being 42 minutes long. Even though I said I wanted it to be shorter. It's probably part of my like rambling. But yeah, I'll continue this tomorrow, actually, not next week, because Chainsaw Man is supposed to come out in like 12 hours ish. So yeah, I'll upload this, watch the next episodes, and then boom. See ya.